The power of thought. The reason I'm making this video today is because I've been having these realizations. I've been learning these new tactics, these new things, and I need to be able to share these things with you boys as I'm learning them. First of all, we got to understand that thoughts are things, right? Our thoughts are not just popping into our mind and fleeting away and nothing happens in between. Each of our thoughts are giving out a certain energy frequency, okay? I believe you can see this picture. I don't know if my big head is in the way, but each of our thoughts are giving out an energy frequency. If you don't know the frequency chart, here it is right here. So there's different mind spaces that we could be in, right? At the top, we have ultimate consciousness, which is enlightenment, right? We either have an expanded state of mind or we have a contracted state of mind, alpha and omega. God said, I am the alpha and omega. When our mind is expanded, we're reaching into positive frequencies, right? Things like willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, enlightenment, the things that make you feel good. These are the things that attract the beneficial things that you want into your life. When we're in a contracted state of mind, this is when our ego takes over. This is when we're not thinking with our subconscious mind and we're thinking consciously. This is when we're worried about the people around us, what they think. This is things like pride, anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, shame. Whenever you have these type of thoughts, these negative thoughts, our consciousness becomes contracted. It's in a contracted state. Even our muscles, this is the full way that our body works. We're either in an expanded state or a contracted state. When we're in an expanded state, we're reaching into our full consciousness and we can be in the moment. This is how we get into flow state. This is how we get all the things that come with that, right? And on the contrary, when we're in these low frequency vibrations, this is when we feel nasty. This is when we feel off. You know what I mean? This is when you're not at tip-top shape. This bottom point, thoughts plus purpose plus persistence plus a burning desire equals a translation to riches. This comes directly from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you haven't read that book as an entrepreneur, you need to read that book ASAP. It's literally, Napoleon Hill did a study of success. This was his life's work. It hasn't been done before him. He spent 20 years of his life studying all the successful people in the world and what made them successful, why they became successful. And he figured out this was the richest formula right here. There's 13 keys to riches. You can read it in the book, but this is the key formula. Thoughts, number one, plus a purpose. This is your why, right? Plus persistence, meaning that you will never give up no matter what happens, plus a burning desire deep down in your heart. This is something that you truly want. This is your burning desire. And then with time, translation into riches. It's as simple as that, family. Thomas Edison quote, when a man really desires a thing so deeply that he is willing to stake his entire future on a single turn of the wheel in order to get it, he is sure to win. Now, he's not talking about gambling. This story was about a man that wanted to work at his company. He wanted to be partners with Thomas Edison, and he desired this so deeply that he was willing to stake his entire future. He quit his job. He said, Edison, let me work with you. And he said, let me work for you, but eventually I will be working with you. I will be your partner. And Edison could have been like, man, get out of my office. But he said, I seen something deep in his eyes. When a man really desires a thing so deeply, he's willing to stake his entire future on it. This is you're putting all in, bro, all on black. Put the house on black. The black is you, though. Black is you. We need to become the best versions of ourselves. We need to do this. And if we're willing to stake our entire future on our businesses, on succeeding, then we're sure to win. There's nothing that could stop us. Here, this bottom point, when you're truly ready for a thing, it puts in its appearance. When you're truly ready for it. We might say we're ready for it, we might feel we're ready for it, but subconsciously, when we are truly ready for a thing, this is when it puts in its appearance. This is when it comes into our lives. This is when we start attracting that because, like I said, thoughts are things. We are limitless. We have no limitations in our mind except those that we acknowledge. Let me repeat that. There are no limitations to the mind except those that we acknowledge. This means our minds can do anything. We can attract anything, right? There are no limits, zero limits. The only limits are the ones that we have been programmed to accept. These are the ones that our family has taught us, that school has taught us, that society has taught us. You know how Kanye West talks about that wall of coffee tables that's in front of the children when they get older. This is what's blocking them, what's stopping us. This is the same thing, the same concept. We have been told all these things which are right, which are wrong, do this, don't do that. But what are they really trying to do from us? What are they really, do you think they're out there to, make us be better people? Do you think they care about what we care about? Do you think they care about taking care of our families? No, they care about themselves. This little picture here, I don't know if you could see. Let me move this again so my head's not in the way. School, right? This is such a perfect example. If you don't know the history of the school system, of how we just copied the Persians, and how Rockefeller and but Mr. Ford himself, they created the school system. That way we would be better employees, be better listeners. This is exactly what this is. We take our children, which are expanded in the highest state of consciousness at all times. Children don't fall down into these things, right? If they do, it's for a very short piece of time. And then they're back up here. Love, joy, peace, enlightenment. So they take these perfect creations that God has made. Jesus said, unless you become like children, you won't be able to enter into the kingdom of heaven. And then we twist them. We make them raise your hand if you got to go bathroom. Sit in the seat for 8 hours a day. Listen to this. Don't listen to this. This is right. This is wrong. And then eventually, through 18 years plus 4 more of college, this is what happens. We're literally brainwashing our kids. We allow our kids to be indoctrinated with these principles that we don't even agree with. They're not even teaching us how to do taxes, bro. Like I got out of high school, 3 years ago? I learned about taxes probably one time in 6th grade or something, and that was because we had already completed all of our schoolwork, and I just had a good teacher. I was grateful to have a good teacher, and he taught us about this stuff. Very minutely, we learned how to balance a checkbook one time. It was the end of the year. Nobody was even paying attention. But these are the things that I'm talking about. They put these limits on our brains. They put these chains on us. They trying to hold you down, but I'm telling you, there's no limits to the mind except those that we acknowledge. The things that we think about constantly become our reality. As I was saying earlier, our thoughts are not just thoughts. Our thoughts are physical, tangible. When we think about things, then our energy goes towards these things. Then our energy gets released into our aura, and these things become an entity that follow us around, that are trying to feed off their energy. They're not trying to do this because they hate us, because they don't like us. They are entities that we create, that we feed through our energy, through constantly thinking about these things. So if we can think about all of the positive things, don't think about the negative things. Even if you're thinking about how you don't want the negative things to happen, that's not how this works. It is the things that you constantly focus on. Those are the things that you see. Focusing on your reticular activation system. These are the things that can highlight things that you're not used to seeing, because this is what you're thinking about. You see what I'm saying? If you haven't read this book either, Reality Transurfing, highly recommend. It's basically the idea of metaphysics. I read also the Introduction to Metaphysics recently. Well, I read the first part of it, I should say. But the idea is reality is a mirror, right? We can create the life and the reality of what we want by changing the way that we think. The things that we think, the things that we believe are our reality. These things will eventually come to pass through time. This 3D world that we live in is simply a reflection of our consciousness. Riches begin with a state of mind. Riches begin with a state of mind. Even with nothing, you can be the richest man on the earth. God has put us in a place that we need to be now. If we're not, he said, if we can show gratitude for the things that we have, he will bless us with more, right? And we're not doing this to be blessed with more. We're doing this because we're honestly grateful. I know for myself, I'm so grateful for everything that I've been blessed with in this life. I'm grateful for even my viewers that are watching this video right now. I'm grateful for you guys. listening to my voice. I hope and pray that some of this relates to you, that you can use some of this in your day-to-day life, because success comes to those who become success conscious. Once you are success conscious, you break free of the doors that are blocking your way, the windows in the path. You smash through all of it. You become success conscious. Now everything is coming to you. You already have it. You already have it inside of you. Everything that you need is inside of you. God has blessed us with it. When we became Christians, the Holy Spirit entered inside of us. We have direct relationship with the one who created the universe. Do you understand that? But I can go deeper on any of these topics. Leave me a comment on, what you guys want to see. Follow the Instagram. I've been keeping up with my stories. I've been posting some short form. So this thing's really about to blow. I'm telling you, this thing is really about to blow. I'm going harder. I'm going ham. And everything is coming to pass on earth as it is in heaven. So I appreciate you guys once again for watching the video, for leaving a comment, for subscribing. And I'll talk to you soon. All right, boys? Peace.